Way back in 2021, I got involved in Kickstarters because the 3D archives were restoring Robot Monster. And I was excited about it as a fan of 3D because we are large in this country, but unfortunately a bunch of greedy forces are ignoring us, fueling the anti-3D forces. And I very much and staunchly defend 3D. Oh, by the way, I want to tell you the process I use, and I'm not being paid to advertise this, but the 3D conversion to me, which is the best 3D process ever, is coming from 3D Combine. I have a 14-day trial, and I couldn't believe how much I experimented in one of my older videos, that it actually wasn't just depth, it was height and width. I was actually popping out. I couldn't believe it. And I'm not being paid for it, and to me, it's the best 3D process. 2D to 3D does work, including the depth mask. If you ever get this process to make your home movie videos, please be ready, because it's a very slow process. And if you want to use a depth map, it has depth map. Study it first. It is complicated. I tried an experiment. It didn't work because I didn't read the instructions good enough. Well, as I said, this is not a paid advertisement. 3D Combine to me was the best. Now, what I'm trying to say is that Rollman, I made a contribution to it, and I'm not being egotistical or saying I'm better than it, like with thousands of other people. This include an extra perk, as they would say today, or an extra reward. I am hoping they didn't make a mistake and forget to put the extra perk. But this ain't the version that all of you are either putting money in for 3 months advance before it's released on July. It's going to be a different version, but don't feel bad about it. I put in a lot of money on this, and if they had that extra perk, you would pay more than what you're paying on the pre-order and what you're going to pay when it comes out. So it's better to have a no frills version. The important thing is that this is inside, what's inside the movie. Now let's open it. Let's hope I got it. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Oh, here it is. Oh, here it is. It ain't on the box cover. Oh, here's my perk. Here's my perk. See it? Here's my perk. I guess I could put it inside the 3D box, but here's my perk. I was afraid they wouldn't have it out. See? And here's the close-up of it. And the perk, which I got. I'm hoping that the conversion works good. We're going to open it up. Excuse me. Oh, these box covers are so tough, especially if you're having to shoot it in a time limitation of a card. Okay. I forgot one thing. Oh, how stupid of me. Where is that? Oh, it's my bad luck. Watch this. One more time. Miss. One more time. Yeah, I got that. I wanted to do that in the beginning, but I forgot to include it. Now I got it. They don't make those little bubble small things anymore. I checked at Walmart. I'm not advertising it either. Let's see now. Wipe this mess up. Okay, now where you saw the perk, and don't worry about it. What counts is the movie. And as I said, oh, this comes with a pair of 3D glasses. And here's the thing. Here's the thing, yep. Here's the case. Does it have, and it tells you the insides here. Now let's look at let's read the insides. Here it is. "3D bonus chapters, chapter stop, 3D trailer, newly created 3D trailer, chapter 2, memoirs of a popped out pinwheel. Greg Moffat shares his personal recollections on filming on location over a period of 4 days, March 1953. Travel through time and space. Newly curated vintage slide presentation from the anthologist Hillary Hess. I wonder if she's an actress. Boy, I always enjoy her when she talks about those slides. She projects out real good. I bet she's an actress. I might be wrong about that. Chapter 3, travel through the time and... No. Chapter 4, side streets of Hollywood. 3D insert, 8 minutes insert dance of the blonde slaves and Madonna in her bubble, presented first time at polarized 4-can scan, original left-right camera, probably anaglyph too, like originally. And imagine that this movie was released, or this scene was released originally misaligned by Something Weird Video, which is now defunct. And let's see, Chapter 5, Adventures in 3D, a newly restored Golden Age comic book presented by Carl Check at Carl's Comics. That's pretty good. Chapter 6, Return of Bronson Canyon. I wonder if this was on YouTube. Starring Bob Burns with Rollman original prop helmet worn by George Burroughs. Automatic billionaire bubbles machine effects, courtesy by Jonathan and Jonathan Slowman and Jack Thiessen. Chapter 7, Whatever the Rollman, 2009. Produced by Stereo Club, Southern California. This short by Ray Zone and Eric Curlin, 3D as Rollman. Chapter 8, Before and After Demo. 3D bonus. Plays for features. Stardust in Your Eyes. Robotmon's original prologue with starring Slick Slavin, Aka, Trustin Howard. New 4K scan for left-right positive. That was in some earlier 3D compile. Extras. 2Ds and 3Ds. Feature commentary track with Greg Moffat and Mike Ballou and Eric Curlin and Lawrence Kaufman. Was I a Man? A new song, I think this is on YouTube, by the other favorites, Aka, Jack Turner, Carson McKee, during a post-feature restoration critics of Memorabilia Gallery. Memorabilia Gallery, created by Charles Barnard with original newspaper ad, posters, lobby cards, publicity photos, and features. Bela Lugosi, you asked for it. Appearance on television, newly restored. Scott John Drow and Jack Thiessen from an original or 16mm kinescope featuring newly commentary by track Gary D. Rhodes and the world foremost Lugosi scholar. 2D bonus. Slavin Slicks, Sean's Thrunk's new documentary show explains how 1950s nightclub comedian Slavin is reminded of his long-forgotten act identity when his 3D is lost and revived in 2003. Robot Monster original coming attraction. 3D movies in Los Angeles. A specially curated collection of Jack Thiessen containing original 2D coming attraction for 3D trailers playing in LA circa June 1953 when Robot Monster premiered. Monsters from Mars opening title Aster reissue. Joe Dante's Trailer from Hell 1956 Monsters from Mars. Trailer by Joe Dante courtesy of Trailer from Hell. Mistakes and Innovations. Bob Furman describes the original Day for Night footage and Phil Tucker's innovation use of double film aka 3D Blinky. Robot Monster Diaries book listing. Rescue Rolling Man, documentary short filmmaker by Sean Trunk, tells how accident discoveries of two forgotten prints in 1990 saved the day completed. I already know that story. Blu-ray 3D playback requires, oh yeah, yes, if you have a 3D projector or if you have a well-maintained 3D TV set and you have a maintained 3D Blu-rayer, they still sell them. Or if you have a 3D optical drive with powers and the software that contains the 3D still. If it's 2D, it'll have the anaglyphic version popping up. If it's a projector, you'll have the... I got a projector down there for emergencies. If it's television or projector, you'll be able to see the Polaroid version. If you don't, the good thing about this thing, it's in black and white. It doesn't affect the color. You'll see it just as good as those of us who have the Polaroid. And it's good that Bob Furmanek has decided to put it out this way. It's only fair. I wrote a letter one time, why don't you have the anaglyph version for those who don't have it? I even tried to persuade the Capri Society. And I also telling about Bob Furmanek, and let's see, that Fathom Events, I got a response that we don't show 3D presentations. They're anti-3D, and I don't think, I told them about the restoration of Jerry Lewis movie, D. Martin. I don't think Capri Society will even show that. They could afford it. I don't think, maybe they don't want 3D glasses. They're certainly negative. I might be wrong. Okay, now here it is. Newly restored, contains over 2-hour bonus features, complete listing, reverse side. Newly restored. Okay, and I'm going to skip this. 3D Archives, 3D Archives, Bayview Review presents Robot Monster in photograph and true stereo 3-dimension process, starring George Nader, Claudia Barrett, Selena Roll, John Long, George Barons, and Gregory Moffat. Music by Elmer Bernstein, he starts when he started, written by Watt Ordung, and produced by Phil Tucker. Was I a Man, performed by the Other Planets. Yeah, that's pretty good too. I saw the preview. And what's that? I can't see it. Okay, it says automatic something. God, I need better glasses. N.A. Fisher Chemical Products. It says automatic balloons. Automatic bubbles. Okay. I can't read that word. Well, anyway, it says N.A. Fisher Chemical Products. Now, this disc has that's not copyright. Well, these things have a lot of menus. And I could talk about it because I saw it on the movie channel. Same good print, except it was in 2D. But I'm going to look at it first and give an objective opinion. And then I'll let you know how I feel about it. But please, don't feel bad about this. If they decided to put this on the 3D box cover, you'd have to pay more. You don't want to pay more. In fact, I could have saved money less not getting this. Remember, I paid far more for all this stuff than what you're going to pay. What you're going to pay when you buy yours, or you already And I made a mistake. It's going to be released in July. It's already been 3 months pre-order. It's going to be released in July. Yes, July. And I finally got my stuff after 2021. I made a mistake claiming it was 3 years. No, it's 2 years and some odd months. And I was patient. And I got my stuff, and I'm glad I contributed to 3D. And I'll play the movie, and I'll let you know how I feel about it. Well, let's get off to a good start in this review by getting Mike's bubbles off. Well, after viewing the movie, and you see, I think if I saw it flat on the movie channel, I didn't see from the beginning, the characters were already married. Selena Royal, John Mylong was the wife and husband for 23 years, and the son. But the first time I saw it for the first time in full length, and it seems like it started out as Claudia Bartlett and Selena Royale and Greg Moffat were just going out on a picnic, and John Nader George Nader and John Mylong were just archaeologists. And all of a sudden, the next scene comes in is when Roman comes in, their family. And it looks like the focus they're trying to destroy. They're trying to destroy the 8 people at least, and they're trying to find ways to beg. And they got this machine which they can talk to Roman, but it needs to be fixed. And Claudia Bartlett feels that she can repair it, and it bruises George Nader that she believes is dead and killed by Roman. And as I said before, another interesting thing is that the dinosaur sequences, some of them are taken from the 1925 Silent Lost World, and the other one 1940, 1 million years BC with Carol Landis and Victor Mature. So that was flat. I think it would have been too expensive to convert it into 3D. It wouldn't have been, they could have, well, maybe they could have used the so-called, the thing that I'm using in this process, because it did have depth map process, but that would have been changing history, and that would have costed more. And there's another thing I didn't realize. There was a scene where the Roll Monster is showing that little television how much to the family how much he destroyed his death and destruction on Earth, and it was a process where you had 2 scenes of different death and destructions. You close one eye, and you see a different scene from it, and you close another eye, you did do another different scene. Now, from what I've learned from the makers of the New Hampshire, the 100 Years of 3D, they claim The Power of Love had this at the ending where they gave you a choice for a good ending or a bad ending. And to me, it's the 3D's beautiful. The story ain't too bad. You just have, you know, that's 1950 stuff. The gorilla guy. Well, excuse me, I could forget it. Let's see now. Okay, George Burroughs. George Burroughs played the Gorilla Man. Now, I got confused in the menus. There was a thing that Bob Fermanack made in the early 2000s back to that canyon. I don't think it's Burke Canyon or something like that. Well, anyway, back to that. He did a 3D thing, and it was part. Remember, a bunch of 3D fan club got participating in it. And the man that was impersonating Roll Monster in this shot on video colored 3D thing, which is part of the menu, I thought that was George Burroughs, though that was his name was Burns. His name was Burns. He was part of the 3D club. That's pretty funny. Impersonating all that cheesy dialogue, that low-budget dialogue, and also they also show different posters of the advertisements of the movie, and one of them was a sexy, almost naked woman who wasn't in the picture. I said, wait a minute, that had nothing to do with the film. And that's the way they did it back then, to sell a low-budget thing. She was shot in 3 days. It was shot in 3 days. And then another menu included Bela Lugosi on some talk show. You asked for it. They fixed it up, make it look like videotape. Too bad they couldn't fix the sound up to sound like videotape, but it was pretty good. And the reason why they showed that is because there was an actress in it. It was part of the magic trick that was in that film with Linda Darnell and Second Chance and with Robert Mitchum. I don't know whether she was an extra, but she talked about it. And Bela Lugosi then claimed he was going to do a 3D movie, new TV show. I don't think it ever materialized. Remember, he was a drug addict. And this was at the time he probably sobered up, and he's probably, at least in autobiography, he was having trouble with his lines. Whether in real life he's having, you know, if you're a drug addict, you're going to have problems with your memory. So I don't think none of that would have materialized. And then Bob Fermanack talks about, then there's an interview with Gregory Moffat in 3D and color. He was a child actor. He was portraying Betty Hutton's son in Let's Dance in '49, and he got a Paramount contract, and they know how to use him, so he's loaned to Universal, do a Western with George McCrae. Well, that Western act, God, my mind is that Western actor. But his sister wasn't acting too, but the reason why they stopped doing acting because their father had to relocate from Los Angeles, was just too far to go back and forth commuting. So we got into something else. And he didn't see the film until he got old enough. Oh yes, and there's another skit that was produced by a 3D club with Phil Tucker's daughter, I think his last name was Tucker. She was portraying a reporter interviewing today, at the time we shot, Roman, not the original actor. It was a funny little skit with a fictitious 3D news, and that was produced by the California Club. Now, in this case, let me throw some more bubbles at you. Mike needs to get his bubbles off. There. Mike just got his bubbles off. Well, I hope you like this review of Roll Man. And if you did like it, comment and share. If you didn't like it, criticize. I got to improve my art. Don't be afraid to look at it. Don't be afraid to hurt my feelings. I don't get my feelings hurt. Bye.